Hey, welcome back to Night Owl Movie Talk, keeping you up on the latest movie news, or at least the stuff I want to talk about. And this time I would like to talk about celebrities. Menaces, every last one of them. Well, not really. Here's the deal. When I was a kid, I loved Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor, and when they would do their whole bits, with the, hey, I'm a white guy, this is my white guy voice, and oh, white people, right? At that time, that was a historically important thing because before that, black people weren't allowed to talk crap about white people publicly without bad stuff happening that the law was going to look the other way on. So those comedic routines were historically important. So when you see Richard or Eddie up there like, "Hey, how you doing? This is my wife Becky," and all that, that's very funny, and I like it, and I think it's great. The problem is, 40 years later, every hack comedian is still doing that same, Becky, Bob Costas with allergies. That's every white guy. And of course, I sound like freaking Bob. I got allergies right now, so I sound extra ridiculous. But my point is, I find most of the, this is so white or white so lame or this thing is so white, whatever. I find it lazy and basically racist. That being said, the Gwyneth Paltrow trial is arguably the whitest thing to happen since colonialism. Oh my God. Are you kidding me with this? No, I mean, hear me out. Gwyneth Paltrow, skiing, Utah, civil litigation, Taylor Swift. Wow. I'm overwhelmed by the whiteness. It's too much. It's too much. Um, Now let's go over this quickly here because I am flabbergasted by this trial. Last summer, Johnny Depp was in a trial, and people were kind of curious, like, what's this about? Him and his ex-wife are suing each other or something, whatever. And then when later on we got into Amber Heard pooping in the bed and all this other just celebrities are awful stuff, right? And we all knew that, but that's what we love to hear. It's like, oh, life isn't so wonderful for them. They're cheating on each other and fighting and throwing wine bottles at each other and all this. So now when the Gwyneth Paltrow trial's out, like I was saying, there's nothing going on in the movies and with celebrities, and there's just nothing to talk about. So this Gwyneth Paltrow trial, it's all over. Like that's the big celebrity news, and it doesn't deserve to be. All right, let's do this fast. Gwyneth Paltrow was on a ski trip in Utah with her family back in like 2016 or something. I remember hearing about it like on entertainment news. It was a big deal. She crashed into some guy on the ski slopes. Neither one died. Neither one ended up crippled. No Sonny Bono, no nothing like that. Gwyneth Paltrow slammed into a guy who was a retired optometrist. So that dude later on found out he had 4 broken ribs, and he's suing. He wants $300,000. And then Gwyneth, feels like this is a frivolous lawsuit. She saw the guy get up and ski away and whatever. So um, she's suing him for $1 and legal fees. So sounds to me like these two slammed into each other in the ski slope doing their little dumb skiing thing. Skiing's dangerous. You need to be looking out for other people. If you crash into somebody, it's somebody's, whatever. Somebody's not paying attention. But either way, what are you guys doing with the skiing? So ultimately, the main reason I even wanted to pay attention to any of this is I wanted to see if Gwyneth was going to get on the stand and, what her story was going to be. And I wanted to see what his version of the story was going to be. Like, just kind of a cop. I wanted to see, what do you say? What do you say? All right. So her version of the story is she's out on the ski slopes with her family. She's in Utah. Her kids are down at the bottom of the hill. She's skiing along. Her blonde hair's underneath her helmet flowing in the breeze. She got a cartoon bird on the shoulders singing a happy song, right? So everything's wonderful on this beautiful day on the ski slopes, fresh powder, yo. And out of nowhere, she looks down and sees these 2 skis come up in between her skis. And she's like, that looks incorrect. And she's like, turns around and there's a man up grinding up against her on the ski slope. And she says, excuse me, what are you doing? Like Gwyneth Paltrow would. I believe all that. And the man's having some sort of attack or episode, according to Gwyneth. He's like, So she steers the two of them to the side, and there's a memory foam mattress with a pile of soft down, feathers, and then a little bit of fresh snow on top of that. And the two of them fall gently as gently can be, like little babies. And suddenly a ski instructor comes over and says, "Hey, is everything okay over here?" And she's like, "Yeah, everything's fine." And the guy helps Gwyneth up gently, and then he reaches down and pulls the guy up real hard and says, "All right, buddy, I hope you're okay." And he says, "Gwyneth, you go ahead, you take off. I can fill out these reports for you. You have a safe day skiing." And that was the last Gwyneth heard of any of it. Everybody was okay. Everything was fine. Dude's story is, he's on the ski slope. He's a 5'5" retired optometrist. He's 76 now. I don't know how old he was when it happened, whatever. So he's in his 70s, all right? So he's a little guy in his 70s. Gwyneth Paltrow, this 5'10" lady from Hollywood, this business tycoon, comes plowing into him, right? So she just Sasquatches him and knocks him down straight up Lawrence Taylor style. And the two of them slammed to the ground really hard, and Gwyneth was like, "How dare you be in my way, you non-famous peasant? You're not a celebrity." And she stood up, and bones sprouted out of her elbows, and then out of her shoulders spikes came, and then her knees had these spiky bones, and some huge wings grew out. She was like, "I will now devour your soul." And then a bunch of celebrity Illuminati people, George Clooney and Julia Roberts and Tom Hanks and all them, they came out of the woods, and they had like babies, and they ripped the heads off, and they were drinking out of the heads of the babies. That's how you get the adrenochrome. It's fresh. And then the lizard people were cheering everything on, and Gwyneth was about to devour the dude. And then suddenly the ski instructor skied up, and the guy was like, "Hey, is everybody okay?" And then all the celebrities quick ran back into the woods, and Gwyneth transformed back into her Hollywood celebrity self. And she was like, "Oh yes, we're fine. It was a minor accident." And she kind of looked at dude and was like, "Don't say nothing," right? So later on under cross-examination, when they asked Gwyneth, "Is there anybody who can corroborate your story?" And she said no. And she said, "Well, the ski instructor, wasn't he like right there? He came pretty quick. Didn't he see it all?" And Gwyneth said, "He was 40 feet away." I don't know like how good you are with distances or whatever. You can, unless you're completely blind, you can see from 40 feet. Steph Curry shoots from farther away than 40 feet, okay? So Gwyneth is full of crap. This is a legal. Oh, actually, I forgot the Taylor Swift thing. At one point, the lawyer for the prosecution was grilling Gwyneth, and they said, "Hey, you're suing for $1. Isn't it true that this is a symbolic amount, that you got the idea from Taylor Swift? She sued somebody for $1 in legal fees, I guess, once." And Gwyneth says, "No, it was my original idea, but I heard Taylor did it also, so, but that doesn't matter." And the lawyer says, "Well, aren't you and Taylor Swift really good friends?" And she says, "No, not particularly. We're acquaintances." And she says, "Oh, okay. Well, here's a video or whatever of you giving Taylor Swift a vibrator for Christmas." And they had like a YouTube clip of like a GOOP video where Gwyneth was making gift bags for celebrities, and in Taylor Swift she put a vibrator in there as like a joke, like Taylor's got all these man problems or whatever. So that lawyer just wanted to bring up Gwyneth Paltrow giving vibrators to other, she's trying to make her look gross in front of anyone who could be offended by that. But Gwyneth big dogged her. And one point she hit her with the sweet white lady power move. She said, "Kristen, what is your name? Kristen? Kristen, I hope you understand that sometimes amongst friends." And I was like, "Damn, Gwyneth. You've seen all the discovery paperwork and legal paperwork, and you know who's representing the dude suing you, and you have no idea what her name is?" No, that's "I'm famous and you're not. I have no idea who you are," lady. That's a power move, which is really smart to do when you're in court and trying to look sympathetic, dum-dum. But I think the ultimate lesson to be learned here is celebrities are just like you and me. Most of them are awful. That being said, I got a bunch of things going on with the channel right now. We're trying to figure out the best movie for each day of the week. There's a poll underneath the community tab. We'll get together and make the ultimate week of movies. So be sure to check that out, vote on that. Otherwise, if you want to check out the worst movies of the year, I did a review of the Razzie Awards. Otherwise, if you want to check out me watching The Flash and hearing about the whole DC Comics, Warner Brothers, HBO debacle, that's all great to check out too. We'll put that here. So there's 2 things for you to watch. You take it easy and you have fun, and I'll catch you later.